Welcome back to the Grand Hotel, live coverage of the Mackinac Policy Conference. As Michigan competes for talent, research investment, and startup growth, university leaders are making the case that research institutions play a critical role in the state's long-term economic future. Two people making that case are with us now, President Richard Bierschbach of Wayne State University and Laura Lee McIntyre, Provost at Michigan State University. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really good to have you here. Provost, I want to start with you. This new Innovation Alliance was just announced as a better way to connect universities, startups, investors, industry partners. Tell us a little about it.
We're very excited. This is brand new. It was announced last week. And this is an opportunity for our 4 research universities to come together with a common goal, which is to create the conditions under which Michigan can be a leader in innovation. We have a top 10 R&D research and development portfolio across our research institutions, but unfortunately a lot of those, that intellectual property and opportunities for scalability and commercialization, we ship it out to the coast. And with this Coordinated Innovation Alliance, we want to keep Michigan's assets in Michigan.
Why do we have so much trouble doing that?
I think it's a matter of coordination and not being connected, not necessarily having a singular strategy. So it's that decentralized approach. We get almost to the finish line and then we don't take it to that next level. And so the Innovation Alliance really allows for that middle layer of strategy and partnership with a common vision.
President, it sounds like it's not more bureaucracy, it's actually more coordination.
That's right. As Laura Lee said, we have a fragmentation problem in this state, and we need to overcome that by bringing the 4 big research universities and other universities, right, just the education and research sector, the government, and the business community together to make sure that when we come up with these great ideas, when we come up with so many of them in our state, and a lot of that is fueled by the major research universities, that we then have the resources to scale them so that the investment, the actual realization of the idea in ways that are going to drive economic growth, going to drive jobs, going to drive innovation, that stays in Michigan instead of being exported elsewhere.
RU4M and the Alliance are calling for $100 million in annual state innovation funding. President, why is that level of investment needed for this?
Well, I think that's a minimum level of investment that's needed. And I think the larger point is Michigan has lagged in investing in precisely this kind of thing. So we look at competitors like Ohio, which puts 5 times more money into taking ideas and then bringing them to the realization stage, the stage where you can scale them. We will never compete as a state if we don't start investing in what we need to do to keep the realization of these ideas here in the state instead of sending them elsewhere.
You're talking about other states' competition. What can we learn from those states? What are they doing that we could do differently?
They have a long-term strategy that transcends political division and political wins. So they think 20 or 30 years out, they look at the data, they make data-informed decisions, and they say, here's what we need to do to compete. Right? And that is something we have struggled with as a state. So that is the kind of thing we need to do. They put competition first over other interests. And that's what the Innovation Alliance is about.
Provost, in the time we have left, I want to turn to federal funding. It is becoming more and more uncertain, of course. How are changes in the federal funding environment affecting universities? And what will that mean for the state's long-term competitiveness?
The change in federal funding landscape is real for research universities, but it's real for citizens of the state of Michigan and across the nation. These long-term partnerships that universities have had with the federal government are so important to maintain our competitive edge and to take the research ideas to fruition, to be able to invest those dollars right back into our state, compete for federal funds. So with the changing landscape, with the reduction of funds, with the changes in predictability of funding, with the overall kind of chaos and confusion that has resulted from some of the shifts, RU4M, or research universities for Michigan, need to come together and take a unified front so that we can compete on a larger scale together for the state of Michigan. I am concerned that if we don't see those long-term investments at the federal government level, individual citizens will suffer, and we will no longer be able to keep up and keep pace with our global competitors. And so as research universities, we not only create the talent and the talent activation and the workforce through our students and through our partnerships with industry, but we really fuel the economic development through the research and development, through the innovation, and it comes through those partnerships with the federal government.
President, I see you nodding wholeheartedly.
Well, I just second everything Laura Lee said. This is both an economic and an innovation issue, and then an issue that affects the day-to-day lives of Michiganders. So we bring back almost $2 billion. The 4 research universities bring back almost $2 billion a year in federal R&D funding that goes to the academic sector. So that right there has a big economic effect. But then consider what kinds of breakthroughs that funds. So at Wayne State, we have the Karmanos Cancer Center, which is Detroit's only National Cancer Institute designated cancer center, where we offer things like a breakthrough immunotherapy for metastatic melanoma that is the one therapy that has proved effective when other therapies fail. We're the only cancer center in the state of Michigan that offers that. Now, we can do that because we do a lot of research that is funded by federal dollars. So when you think of those things going away, and that's one example, and there are hundreds across, probably thousands, frankly, across the research universities, it's a very serious quality of life issue in addition to an economic and global competitiveness issue.
How do you make sure that that story is told?
We get in front of audiences wherever we can. We attend the Mackinac Policy Conference. We talk to our legislators. We talk to our community members. We get out in every community. We tell our story, and we tell our story in a unified way so that we can take the research impact and make it come alive for your day-to-day Michiganders. There is a question about the value proposition of higher education. It costs a lot of money. What is your average college doing for you lately? RU4M, or Research Universities for Michigan, can make an even greater impact for our research and discovery, improving the quality of life, not only for people in Detroit, but across the state, across the world. Our 4 universities alone are outstanding institutions. You put us together, we're unstoppable.
Provost, President, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.